here, if you will find something very curious in the Gospels, all the authors of the Gospel make this particular point of mentioning that Christ was laid in a tomb, in a new tomb, hewn out of rock, in which no one else had been laid.
Yes.
So to kind of signify that this is a clean new place. And the thing with even you find this even with our churches. I mean, we try to keep them clean because they are a dwelling place for our Lord. So recently, for example, Archbishop Emeritus John Cardinal Njue was opening a church at NYS. I think it's St. Teresa of the Child Jesus, yes, which is a new church. And this happens with all new churches which have been consecrated by a bishop. The bishop will bang on the door 3 times.
Right.
With the staff, with the croissant, to signify that this is a holy place in which our Lord dwells. So, as far as that is concerned, and in reference to this cleanliness of the place, that it being consecrated and set apart for God's dwelling, signifies or also has reference to the Immaculate Conception, a dwelling place for our Lord.
You're right.
At least for 9 months. So there you find that and I think this is why the authors made that effort to mention that it's a new tomb in which no one else had been laid in. So anything that has to do with where our Lord is dwelling, receiving the Eucharist, He's dwelling in our heart. It needs to be clean.
Right.
In the churches, has to be cleaned, and that's why it's so sacrilegious to do some things. You can't defile a church. That's really sacrilegious.
Yeah.
You can't defile the Holy Eucharist. It's very sacrilegious. I think, in fact, one of the lessons that I remember very vividly from my catechism, which was some 20-something odd years ago, was that one in particular, that you must not receive our Lord the state of conscious mortal sin. It is a sacrilegious sin deserving of death. Remember that so vividly from my catechism teacher. And it's really so important. So, those would be the things that we can draw parallels from to see why it is so important that Our Lady, or why it makes sense that Our Lady was preserved from sin. The other would be also that she's the new Eve.
Okay.
She's the new Eve. And Cardinal Newman does very well in illustrating this and showing the parallels.
Right.
So if, you see, Eve had also been, you could say, in a sense, conceived without sin. Right? So but then out of her disobedience, she led all of humanity, her and Adam, led all of humanity into sin and death. So it is fitting that Our Lady, who is the new Eve, and who is not in any way inferior to the first Eve, also be conceived without sin.
Right.
And out of her obedience leads us all into the light, into the life, actually.